the woman interviewing him went on to say, she said, now we're hearing these rumors that Swift is joining Ripple, and she wanted him to address that. This is where it gets really, really interesting, in my opinion. He said that Swift was owned by the banks, and we are here to help the banks. And then he says there have been opportunities where maybe there's partnership opportunities. We have not been able to bring those to fruition. He said we have over 100 of Swift's customers. Now, he mentioned first that Swift had said in the past that they didn't think blockchain will be a solution to correspondent banking. And then he says, we have over 100 of Swift's customers saying they disagree with Swift on this. And then I believe she asked, could Ripple one day take over Swift? And to me, this is the greatest line. If I was creating this headline right here, like I did the headline in my YouTube video, this is what my headline would have said. Because then Brad Garlinghouse goes on to say, this is after she says, could Ripple one day take over Swift? He says, I think we're doing and executing on a day-by-day basis. I think what we're doing on a day-by-day basis is in fact taking over Swift. In other words, our product is so much better than theirs. We're taking them over with every day that we work forward because their product can't compare to ours, and he knows it. And then one of the last things he said, and then I'll kind of summarize my thoughts on this. He said that he just saw a remittance company that works with Ripple reduce their transaction costs to their customers overnight from $20 to $2 using Ripple's technology. $20 to $2. He said that remittance company saw an 800% increase in their usage overnight. Now, I've told you in the past about an article. I've shown you an article where Michael Arrington was talking about how his hedge fund sent $50 million and it took them 3 or 4 seconds and cost them pennies to move the money. And I've pointed to that and told you this is how you know that the world's about to change and how you own the greatest digital asset ever created. And now what you're seeing is Ripple and their use case. And when you start to see numbers, it becomes an undeniable thing what is about to happen to the world in terms of how it's about to change. When you're saving companies money, you're saving going from something costing $20 to a customer to $2, and that company in turn is seeing an 800% increase in their usage of their product overnight. The world is about to change. So, what do I get out of this Brad Garlinghouse interview? It's really quite simple. Regulatory certainty and custody has been an issue. We've talked about all this. But here's the beautiful thing. The beautiful thing is, since I was in this from 2013 to today, back then, all we were seeing in the news was that so-and-so country was going to ban cryptocurrency. We weren't even close to what we're talking about now. Now, it's not a matter of whether we're going to have good regulation. It's in the works, but it's been kind of muddy. The water's been a little muddy. But all of the countries of the world, they're not saying they're going to ban it. They're saying they're working on regulations, and many of them have already created their frameworks already. The United States admits that they're creating their framework. Same thing with custody. Way back when, the news media and all of the traditional financial people with regard to custody, they weren't even talking about custody in 2013. They were talking about how dangerous it was to own cryptocurrencies and how it was just a fraud, and it was for hackers, and it was for money launderers. They weren't even going to address custody because this was all a big fraud. Now you got some of the biggest custody companies in traditional finance in the history of the world that are involved in this, and they're creating custody solutions right now, and they've been working on it all year, if not longer. And then to institutional investing, it's not uncertain as to whether they're coming. It's been a little uncertain while the regulation and the custody has been being worked out, but it's very clear that they're coming. It's increasing in the percentage of the amount of money is coming in. It's going to snowball, because as the regulation and the custody solved, that part's going to snowball, and then that will snowball into all of these. As Morgan Stanley said this past week, this is now an institutional asset class. Well, that means that the next step will be, once those institutions get their money parked, it will become a retail, average Joe investor asset class. And then the financial advisors of the world will descend upon their clients. They will start recommending to them that they need to put maybe 0.5% to 1% in digital assets. And the ETFs will come and the mutual funds will come. And then finally, what I get out of this interview is that this is the thing that blows my mind more than anything. I'm blown away by the confidence that Brad Garlinghouse has when he talks about Swift. Swift's dominance is not a question to this guy. And obviously the security issue is not a question either, because of the crazy debts that have been created over the course of the last 50 plus years that cannot be sustained. And so here we are, you're starting to see flashes of bad things in the stock markets around the world. And so now I take you to this article, and they're talking about hedge fund redemptions here. It says, in a recent article titled "Hedge Funds Brace for a November 15th Bloodbath, Zero Hedge Goes to Great Lengths to Explain Why Hedge Funds Could See Mass Withdrawals on the 15th. According to this article, hedge funds have been underperforming, and this could lead to more investors cashing out, as they have already been cashing out. Today, Bloomberg picks up on this risk, with reporter Sajil Kishan writing that following the second worst month of the decade for the hedge fund industry, many are bracing for an industry D-Day, November 15th. That is, Kishan explains, is the deadline for investors to put managers on notice to get some or all of their money at year end. In an interview with Tech, and then now they go on to tell you how this applies to, or could apply to, XRP, and how XRP could benefit. In an interview with TechCrunch, Michael Arrington of Arrington XRP Capital made an interesting statement about hedge funds and XRP. He stated that XRP is a fantastic currency to use, among other things, hedge funds. We need to move a lot of money very quickly. We make investments all over the world. Our LPs come from all over the world, and using banks to move money is a pain in the ass. That's what he said, not me. It takes a day or two to move money around the world. And with XRP, our very first close to $50 million, we moved that money in like 3 seconds. And then it goes on. This is a pointer to the fact that hedge funds are adopting XRP as an efficient way of moving money all across the world.
Steadily increasing, but guys, these numbers are just astronomical, right? We got to look at the numbers for what they are. Guys, let's do 10%, okay? So with 10% of Swift's business, the increase would be 2,505 times in volume for XRP. So we multiply that by the 7.25 times roughly 2,500 equals an increase in percentage of 18,161.3%. So guys, at the 29 cents that XRP is today, multiply that by an increase, okay, we're going to see an XRP price of roughly 52.96 cents per XRP. And guys, these numbers will change. Like, this is 29 cents today. Let's say XRP was 52 cents before Brad Garlinghouse flipped the switch. What did I say? 52 cents? Okay, let's just do one real quick. I wasn't planning on doing this, so bear with me, okay? So 52 cents times, what is it, 18, right, percent increase. Okay, so what would that equal? I'm going to just do the math here on my phone. So guys, if this all happened and XRapid took 10% of Swift's business and we were sitting at 52 cents right now, which we're not, but let's say we were, we would see an XRP price of $94.86. So guys, as you can see, right, these numbers really scale up the higher this price is. And so this is obviously, you know, a great kind of exercise to see how much business Swift does. And even at these small percentages, what we could see an XRP token go for.